Eddie Chambers versus Dorian Darch, one of the lesser discussed fights on the Bad Blood card, the Frank Warren sort of Fury, Chisora, Eubank, Saunders card. This fight's happening this Saturday, be early on in the bill, 6 3-minute rounds. Dorian Darch, someone I've watched quite a few times. I actually don't think he's that terrible an opponent. His record is 8 wins, 3 losses out of 11 fights. He's been KO'd twice, and he has only scored 1 of his 8 wins by stoppage. So he's not the biggest puncher in the world. He's also, similar to Eddie Chambers, not the sort of biggest, tallest heavyweight out there. But I don't think he's that terrible an opponent. He's obviously not as good an opponent for Eddie Chambers, if you like. I think Eddie Chambers should be fighting better than that. But if certain British fighters wanted to have a fight with Dorian Darch, I'd have no complaints about it. I think he's relatively solid, and to evidence that, his last fight he scored a win, probably an upset win, I guess you could say, over Tom Little. He also scored a win over Paul Butlin in 2013, so that's the kind of level he's operating at, Darch. He's beating the Butlins, he's beating the Tom Littles of this world, but his 3 losses have come every time he stepped up in class. Got stopped by Ian Lewison in 4, got stopped by Anthony Joshua in 2, and lost every round in a points loss to Hughie Fury. So the Fury camp know him quite well, obviously, with that fight with Hughie. Obviously, Eddie Chambers training with the Furies, and it shouldn't be too tough a night for Eddie Chambers. You'd like to see Eddie go out and get the stoppage. Realistically, Joshua stopped this guy, Lewison stopped this guy. You'd think a heavyweight of Eddie Chambers' experience and capability would be able to get the job done against Dorian Darch. Chambers, 40 wins, 4 losses, KO'd 21 from 40. Last fight against Marcelo Nascimento was a horrible fight, very unpleasing to the eye, very messy fight, very scrappy. Chambers scored multiple knockdowns but was unable to get the stoppage. But previous to that, he stopped Carl Baker, who I guess you could say is, I think Darch is probably better than Baker these days, but a similar level of opponent. So hopefully Eddie Chambers gets the job done. I'm glad that he's keeping busy. I'm glad he's out fighting on a big bill, and hopefully this win will keep his momentum going, keep moving him up the rankings slightly, because I think activity counts for a lot in the heavyweight rankings, and hopefully rebuild some of his confidence, because I think he was very, very disappointed in his last performance and gutted that he couldn't get the stoppage. So hopefully moves him in the right direction. Clearly, Darch, whilst a respectable opponent at, say, area level, is not the kind of guy Eddie Chambers is going to have problems with. I mean, this is a guy who's been in with the likes of Klitschko, as we know, Ademec, other sort of big fights in the past, but I expect Eddie Chambers to get the job done. I expect him to look good doing it, and hopefully it should be an entertaining fight. I'm a big Eddie Chambers fan. I think stylistically he's a good boxer. I think Peter Fury's got him punching a bit harder, and hope that he's on the televised Box Nation portion of the show. Let me know your thoughts on this fight. Let me know if you've got any predictions.